I've been saying this for a month now, so now I'm going to drive it all the way home. By his standards, Patrick Mahomes had a lousy regular season, his second straight lousy regular season. No way this time did Patrick Mahomes belong on the Pro Bowl team. No way this time did he have a better regular season than Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow, who did make the Pro Bowl because they deserve to make the Pro Bowl. Way to go, guys. So let's start with my favorite quarterback stat. You know it, QBR. It's the tell-all stat. Lamar's first right now at 78. Josh Allen and Joe Burrow are tied right now for second at 76.7. So they're a point and 3/10 behind Lamar. Right on his tail, tied for second. All the way down at sixth is Patrick Mahomes at 68.5. So Lamar's at 78, and Patrick Mahomes is almost 10 QBR points behind him at 68.5. Now, let's look at the defenses that back up each of these quarterbacks. Let's look at Kansas City's defense, which is the real reason Kansas City is 15-1. Not Patrick Mahomes, the defense, which ranks second in points allowed in the entire National Football League. That's pretty great. Second. Josh Allen's Buffalo defense is 11th in points allowed. Lamar's Ravens defense is 13th in points allowed. And Joe Burrow's Cincinnati defense is near the bottom at 29th in points allowed. So Mahomes' defense is second in points allowed. Buffalo's 11th, Ravens 13th, Burrow's and Cincinnati's 29th. That's really all you need to know. But let's talk about the points scored by each of these four teams. Let's look at Josh Allen's offense has scored the second most points in the NFL. That is shocking. No Stephon Diggs, no problem. Lamar's offense has scored the third most points in the NFL. I'm not surprised by that. Joe Burrow's offense has scored the sixth most points with little to no running game. And Mahomes' offense has scored the 11th most points. Okay. Why is Josh Allen running away with MVP right here, right now? Because he's thrown 28 touchdown passes to only 6 interceptions, but he's run for 12 more touchdowns. Whew. And he has cut his total turnovers. He used to be the all-time turnover machine, led the league going into this year since he's been in the league. Last year, he had a career high 22 total turnovers. Right here, right now, Josh Allen has 8 total turnovers, 6 interceptions, 2 lost fumbles. Only lost 2 fumbles. Well, that's pretty great. And a team that nobody saw coming is 13-3 because Josh Allen cleaned up his act right before your very eyes. He grew up right before your very eyes. And of course, head-to-head, he inflicted the only loss on Kansas City as he outplayed Mahomes with a QBR of 84 to Mahomes' 62 that day. That's pretty great. Now let's look at Lamar. He's very quietly had a very sensational statistical season at 39 touchdown passes to only 4 interceptions. The record has not been as sensational, at least as I anticipated it would be. It's 11-5. But this team is going to win the AFC. They're going to the Super Bowl. You heard it here first, and you will hear it here last. Which brings me to Joe Burrow. Speaking of last, almost in defense. Joe Burrow is leading the league, the National Football League, with 42 touchdown passes to only 8 interceptions. Joe Burrow has proven once again he is the best quarterback in all the land, in all of football. If I got my first pick in my draft, I'm taking Joe Burrow. Why are the Bengals only 8-8, barely hanging on life support to get into the playoffs? They have a horrible defense, as I just pointed out, and they have no more Joe Mixon to bang the ball and catch the ball at running back. which brings me all the way back around to Patrick Mahomes. This year so far, and he's not going to play in the final game, he has 26 touchdowns passes to 11 interceptions. 26 touchdown passes to 11 interceptions. Yeah. He's been sacked 32 times. It's a lot. That ranks 11th in the NFL. Some of that you can pin on his leaky line, and some of that you can pin on Patrick Mahomes still trying to live up to the reputation that he gained for sensational plays. Still holding the ball too long and trying to hit the home run every single time, even though the last 4 or 5 games he turned into check down Charlie, which he should have. That's what he's best at right here, right now in his career. So how did the Chiefs get to 15-1? I've called them the luckiest team in the history of the National Football League because 7 times in 15 wins, they won on their last possession. I'm going to use one of my favorite cliches that I have no idea how it originated, but they won by the skin of their teeth. I have no idea what that means, but you know exactly what it means because so do I. I don't know where it originated. I don't know how anybody got skin of teeth, but that's how they won. Barely. 7 times they lucked out. 6 of those times at Arrowhead, which for visiting teams has turned into Sparrowhead. Nobody's afraid of Arrowhead anymore. It's just Sparrowhead. Yeah, I know the Chiefs have wrapped up home field through the playoffs all the way to the Super Bowl, and they should win those 2 games, but I believe they will not win those 2 games. Chiefs fans, if you're still watching, you know what the silver lining here is. Could be what happened last year, where Patrick Mahomes finally said, okay, yeah, I sucked during the regular season, but watch this. And did they ever, he and Travis, take off in the postseason? I give you that, but I think they've used up their 9 cat lives, have those Chiefs. I think they're on their 10th life now, and I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to lose a home game. Somebody's going to go in there and beat them, and I believe it will be Lamar freaking Jackson. I think it's his turn and his time. All I know for sure about this regular season is that you can argue that Patrick Mahomes is going to say, okay, you disrespect me, you pay, watch this. That's what he's going to try to do. Not going to happen this time. And for sure, he did not belong going to the Pro Bowl.